Welcome to Introverse.
Members.
What's happening?
Yo.
What y'all been
What's
up
up,
to?
brother? You know, living life.
Living life, huh?
Yep. Working for the man. That's about
Cool,
it.
cool.
Someone at my job the other day, you know how when you're walking down the hallway and there's somebody walking towards you,
Yeah.
as an introvert, I dread that because
Hate it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk to them, right?
You know what I hate worse than that? The second time you meet in the hall. The third time.
Do y'all ever feel weird when you have to you're passing by someone in at your workplace and you're just like, hey? You feel like you have to say hey?
that's
the third time you gotta say, hey, what's up? Like,
Hey.
I just saw you.
That's what I hate about it because I'm like, okay, if I don't say anything, they're probably going to say something.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to respond to what they say than to instigate a conversation. And it happened today when I went to take a photo upstairs and I was walking back to my office and there was this doctor, cancer doctor, or oncologist. She's a very nice woman.
Yeah.
Was walking the opposite towards me. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to make eye contact at some point. I have to make eye contact. And then she's going to make eye contact with me. And if she says, hi, how are you? Then you have to respond, right?
Yeah.
But then if she doesn't say that, I honestly don't want to say hi. We're just walking. Like this is not this is not a scheduled meetup. Strangers in the hallway.
Yeah.
And so we got to the point where it's like, okay, one of us has to say something. Like it's and so we made eye contact happen, and then she goes, "Good morning," and I was like, "Good morning," and then we just kept going.
You know what's even worse? So this happens to me all the time at work. We have a coffee station, and I'll go get a cup of coffee, and there'll be guys sitting in there, and they'll get in a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And you can't get out of the conversation.
It
goes on and on and on. I'm just here for a cup of coffee, but and then it's awkward. Is the conversation's going on for a little while, and you try to leave.
Yeah.
But they're still talking to you, and you just go back to it.
Right.
You're
You're sucked back in.
And then you feel bad because you tried to leave the conversation.
Yeah, you got the body language like your body's turning.
Yeah.
Like slowly, okay.
And you're thinking
all right.
I wonder if this guy knows I'm trying to get out of this conversation, I feel terrible.
No. It's not even about you. It's about them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's all about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got two guys I work with that are like that. They just suck you in, and there's no.
Oh, there's a guy who works in the facilities department, and he's an older man, and he just went through some health issues and stuff, and we used to meet up in the hallway, and it was usually a nice chat because he was in the military back in the day, and he was actually stationed in Italy. So when I told him I was going to get married in Italy, he was all excited, like, "Oh wow, it's beautiful. You're gonna love it, And so now every time I see him in the hallway, he always asks,
topic.
"When's your next vacation?" Like,
Yeah.
where are you going next?
Right. We talked about this thing one time.
And I feel like he's almost living vicariously through me now. Like he wants to, because he's not doing anything,
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, what's your next trip? And so when I told him I was going to Hawaii, he was super, oh, wow, that's going to be great, And so, every time in the hallway, he's like, what's up, cuz? And that's the thing. He puts out his fist and he's like, what's up, cuz? And then he asks me,
Fist bump.
where are you going? Where's your next trip? And so it's kind of sometimes it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
You kind of develop I don't know, it's like a long, it's not even long distance because he's right next door to me, but it still feels almost like a long distance relationship because you only actually talk to him maybe twice a week. It's I don't know. It's interesting.
I have that same situation because I'm being from New Orleans, living here in Tampa. It's the same people be like, oh, yeah, I've been on vacation there. I'm like, I know. You told me 17 times. I didn't like the food. I'm like, okay. Where'd you go? They list Copeland's, these franchise places. Like, what?
I had kind of a weird moment of synchronicity today at work. Do y'all know do y'all believe in the Matrix or the simulation theory?
We've talked about it on here. Probably
y'all believe in that?
a couple times. Yeah.
We've
I don't know if I
definitely
believe it,
discussed
but it's very intriguing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. I can't say yes, it's definitely a thing. We're living in a simulation, but I will say that every once in a while things happen,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah, I had kind of one of the moments today. My boss pulled me aside and remember the last time I was on, y'all talked about like cool 80s shows. One of them was Airwolf.
yes,
But at the time y'all were talking about it, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I've never heard of Airwolf.
really?
It was like kind of, I don't know, I guess I was before my time or I was too young.
Yeah, you were a little young. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but okay. Okay. But my boss pulled me aside today.
Flying wolf.
I'm just like, what the heck is this? Well, my boss pulled me aside today, and I work at a heliport, right?
Oh, nice.
Okay, I did not know this.
And he comes up to me and he goes, we got some big people coming in tomorrow, and I need you to keep this parking spot open. He's like, hey, you ever heard of Airwolf?
Airwolf is a Mach 1 plus chopper that can kick butt.
And I was like, oh, yeah.
I actually
he was actually like, it might have been before your time. I don't know. You ever heard of Airwolf? And I was like, oh, yeah, trying to be cool. He was like, well, we're getting a Bell 222 here, and it's actually the same helicopter they had in Airwolf, like the same,
Nice.
the same model.
That was
Okay.
a slick
Just
looking
like-
helicopter back then.
Yeah, these helicopters stay around for a long time. The model, they use them for years and years and years.
clearly.
And I was thinking to myself, like, that is the weirdest thing ever. We were just talking about Airwolf like the other day, and I have no idea what this is.
No one in the world has mentioned Airwolf in 30 years ever. We're the only ones.
And I was like, it's synchronicity. It's like it's like a simulation, like syncing up and all that.
Yeah.
It's coming full circle. I really wish that I had the Airwolf theme song tuned up for this moment,
right?
because it should be playing right now.
It's classic 80s.
But I
adventure
actually looked
TV
it up.
show.
I was like, what is this? Typed in the Bell 222, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'd never seen it before, so I had to check it out for myself,
That's
Yeah.
cool.
see what it was.
Oh no, it's a badass helicopter. I mean, they literally wrote a television show around it. That's how badass the helicopter was.
Yeah, I like the idea, and I like to believe it that not all of us are actually humans in the simulation. Some of us are NPCs,
I love that one. I love that one.
which are non-player characters.
Yes.
So they're just computer programs, and like when you work with these people there's no way they can be this dumb. There's no way.
Oh,
Like,
no.
they're not real. Like they're just going through the same rhythms that the program has put into them.
Yes. No, dude. It that happens when we do interviews with people.
Yeah.
Like right now, that's what I'm actually doing at work. Is we're interviewing
Yeah.
employees who have been there for 30 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this. Okay, you're at one job for at least 30 years or more.
Right.
And then
you're a
when you
master at it.
When you get to your 30th year,
Yeah.
marketing offers you a chance to sit down and do an interview about your experience at the
That's
place.
good. That's cool. Yeah.
Okay, so we do it, and some of these people are like, "Oh my God, I love my job, and just I wake up and I just can't wait to get to work."
That's
and,
an NPC, dude.
and
You're
it's like,
programmed to say that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you can't be a real human.
Yeah, of course they
Yeah.
love their job.
Like this is
It's
not.
like the
It's not reality. I don't.
But then there's people who I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently they don't have an inner monologue in their head. So like they don't. I didn't even know that was a thing. There's people out there who don't have like
a voice.
a voice in their head. No, none.
Interesting.
It's like
I've
must be an
heard
NPC.
that. I've heard that. There's also like one of our mutual friends, like he cannot see pictures in his head.
Really?
That's kind of freaky, actually.
It's
I don't know.
yeah.
Like
So movie watching must be really like
Everything's
just
all that's difficult.
a very short experience for him. It's like he sees it and
he has
then
to see it. Yeah.
he sees it and he
And
can
then-
experience it there, but there's no memory of it after.
the memory's there, but not a picture.
not an image. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He can't relive like, oh wow,
No.
Indiana Jones running from the boulder. That's not in his head.
what
Like,
about
he just
reading a
can't-
book? How would you
Yeah,
visualize
he
that?
has
That
he has
would be even
problems
harder.
with that. The imagery
It's
is
just like
problems.
data coming in your head, like
Uh-huh.
just like
Yeah.
this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're analyzing something instead of reading it.
Yep.
It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's just data going in your head.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, but I've heard about the people with no inner voice, which is, man, sometimes
You know what's
I think
really weird?
I argue with myself sometimes with my inner voice.
like loud.
No. Just like
Be honest now.
are arguing with other people. You ever do that?
In your head.
In your head?
Yeah, in your
Oh,
head,
yeah, all
like
the time.
like you've had an altercation, right? Like
Oh,
yesterday,
yeah.
and then you're recalling it, and then all of a sudden you start arguing, like
Well-
new arguments in your head.
I often think of things I should have said.
Right, the same thing. Yeah.
After the fact. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
damn it, when they said this, I should have said
I should have said
this.
this.
It would have been so badass.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
you know,
yeah.
I'll take that up a notch. And like, have you ever been sitting at work and you're just like thinking about like, oh, what happened if like some dude came in here with a gun or something, and you're just like, this is what I do. I kick
Right.
his ass.
Yeah,
You
like-
know? Go through this
like
like
daydreaming.
fantasy scenario in your head.
And then I do a split, punch him in the nuts.
Yeah,
kick his
it's kind
ass.
of
he
in the
bad.
same vein of that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
But, you know what's weird though? Speaking of the Matrix, I actually dressed as Neo for
Yeah, I
my
remember that.
senior year. Sadie Hawkins.
Sadie Hawkins.
Oh wow.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like last week at work.
Yeah, I wish.
I remember when you did that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, like my
They had, like,
grandmother.
boots and everything.
Dude, I had everything. I actually got a picture of it.
Yeah.
Look, watch.
Yeah, it's funny they let you show up with all those guns.
Yeah, I had the guns too.
But
it
it
was-
was before or after Columbine.
They were water guns, man. They were. All right.
Nice. I remember that.
Very nice.
Yeah, I dug that one out so I could show y'all.
I've never worn costumes. That was a thing that I think it stems from. We may have even talked about this before, B. But when I was a kid, we didn't celebrate Halloween,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
when that's your first
Similar.
exposure to costumes, right? So
Yep.
I was only exposed to costumes in the movies, and I didn't even think those were costumes. I just thought that was,
movie.
that was really in the West, until
Yeah.
I was old enough to know, oh, they're making this,
Yeah.
And so I never was a costume person. Like to this day, I don't wear costumes really, unless I'm shooting a movie and I have to
Yeah. Yeah.
look a certain way. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't been in a costume in a while. Halloween a couple years ago.
really? What did you go as?
Like a hippie or something. Like we were a couple of hippies. Like it was, like the long hair and
Uh-huh.
The last costume I was in
some
was
beads.
when we made that cowboy flick. Remember that little
Yeah.
cowboy? Look at
Drift.
Drift.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
we
I was
talked about
actually
that the
thinking
other
about
day.
that. I was thinking about that today while I was on my lunch break. I was like, man,
We got to get that. You got to
What-
get that on YouTube, man.
wouldn't it be cool if we made like a sequel to that?
Right? Yeah, it would be cool.
Like-
I mean, every character died, so it would have to be a prequel.
it could be a prequel, but we look older.
No, like what if? Okay, I remember I got shot in that one and I fell, but what if he survived?
Oh,
Or what if
okay.
it's
Like
just-
he woke up, like
So what if so it's from the deputy's point of view. This time
yeah.
it's your character who wakes up and is like, what the hell happened?
He's the
Everyone's
boy.
dead.
Because I remember Brent used to say, "Hey boy,"
Hey,
and,
boy.
and the show would be called "The Boy."
Quiet boy.
Quiet boy. I thought you said there was
And then I die.
Yeah, and then you die immediately.
Worst acting ever. So bad. Do you
gonna
still
have to-
have that?
It
gonna
wasn't
have to
that
find
bad. It was fun.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna
It
have
was awesome. And
a performance
Yeah.
for the ages. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be on YouTube. It was on YouTube, and I kind of got introverted about it, if that makes any sense. Like it was out there for a while, and it had like about 700-800 views,
Mm-hmm.
and this was way back, like early,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
long
yeah.
after we made it, and I took it down because I was like working with Mute Math at the time, and I just felt like it was
Yeah.
kind of cheesy, and
You,
I was
you
like,
didn't want to come off.
I don't want this to
in
be
a certain-
representative of my work necessarily.
Yeah.
Not that I'm ashamed of it or anything, because I think it's
Yeah.
actually fun.
You should tie it.
I think it's
more-
awesome.
Not just Micah's death scene. Tie a few scenes in here. And
Right.
That's a good way to put it out there without it being like, well,
Yes.
this is the quality of my work today.
Right, exactly.
You know,
I'm
So-
dead serious though. We should make a sequel. Like
We should.
let's do
It
it.
shouldn't be serious though. It should be
No,
tongue in cheek.
absolutely not.
A spoof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
spoof.
a spoof of the original.
Yeah.
So, but right before we started to record, I say right, maybe about 15 minutes before, my power went out. And so I was getting a little worried. And it came right back on about a minute in. But this exact same thing happened 4 days ago.
Dude, you were so pissed.
And dude, I was editing a podcast episode and the power went out, came back on immediately. I turned my computer back on, got everything booted up. It went out again, just enough to shut everything down, came back immediately. I said, fuck! Turned my computer back on, set everything up again. It went out again and stayed out for 3 hours.
You would text me every time.
And I was texting
Pissed.
Brent each time, and I was so pissed off because that was my whole after. I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing today. I'm editing the podcast, and I'm we might cut the grass, but we also have an electric lawnmower, so we couldn't even do that. Like we couldn't even charge the battery for that.
Oh my God.
And I started to think, like, I was just sitting there on my couch. What do I do with this day? Like, I don't. Electricity is gone, and I just have no life. It just went.
do.
And I started to think, like, wow, we're way too dependent on electricity. I have
Way
nothing
too
to do.
Oh, yeah.
Dependent on the internet now. Like it's hard. It's almost impossible to live
That
without.
too.
Once you're conditioned to having it like all the time, it's almost impossible.
But think about it. What would you do without a microwave? Your
Yeah.
Keurig doesn't work. Nothing works.
Yeah.
Like you can't get ready for work in the morning. You have no light. We're just not prepared for an EMP.
If one or
man.
two of those things go out, it's okay. Like if the coffee machine went out, you can
Sure.
okay, I'll make it this way. Or I'll stop at Starbucks
exactly.
or whatever.
Sure.
First
Microwave.
world problems.
I've lived without a microwave for a month or two.
Really?
Yeah, that is a really hassle. And you heating everything up on the oven or the stove.
Well, wait. How? Okay. So do you have a gas stove
No,
or electric? Okay, you have electric. So
I don't remember at the time. This was a while back.
I actually have a gas stove, which comes in really handy if the power goes out because you can still light
you
it.
can still use it. Yeah,
You can still use it. You can still
Yeah.
cook. And so that's actually awesome. But man, everything else I was thinking that I had to do involved electricity. I literally sat on the couch for 3 hours and did nothing. I was
it was
just
out for 3 hours.
after the third time.
No storm or anything.
Nothing.
That's Louisiana. You sneeze hard.
Yeah.
It was one of those, you know what? It's Southeast Louisiana, guys, and it's
And you don't
82
live
degrees
far
outside.
from me, so I know exactly what you're talking about
Yeah.
because
You may have gone out as
if
well.
we get a bad like wind, it'll go out.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's just like this terrible power grid here.
Dude,
Yeah.
when I was in Ponchatoula, the electricity would go out like once a week
Yeah.
because it would shut the plant down. Like once a week.
Okay,
That's
so
insane.
let's just hypothesize an EMP hits, takes out.
I mean, y'all will be more prepared than people over here. I've never lost electricity here.
Okay,
The hurricane, I lost it like for 6 hours.
that's right. Yeah, you're an insane person. But so what do we do? Like, does society just completely fall apart if there's an EMP that knocks out the grids?
Yeah. 100%.
I think so. I think so.
I think we
right?
immediately
Mad Max.
form.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Thunderdome.
Immediately.
We're swarming
We
the
take
grocery
a
stores.
clan mentality.
Uh-huh.
Not KKK clan.
You hope that
But, like-
you've actually made friends with some of your neighbors
Right.
because you can
And if you
join.
haven't, you have to kill them immediately.
Yeah.
Loot their things.
If you,
They're going to
if you
come take
haven't-
your shit.
So instead of like trying to make friends, like, hey,
No.
all the power
You have to
went
be
out.
friends already. 'Cause
Okay,
people
that's what
are
I'm
gonna be
saying.
fake.
I
They're going to
feel
try
like-
to get in, sneak in.
Uh-huh.
You know, subterfuge.
Right. Because even the people who have generators, they're going to run out of fuel. Because
Right.
you're not going to
And
be
you
able to
want
get
kill them first.
right. You're not going to be able to get gas at the pumps without power.
Oh, don't show up at the pump.
No.
No, everyone's going to be going there, whether power or not. They don't know. The old.
I mean, I
school
think there's
pumps
a
you
way to
could.
get the gas out of the pump without electricity, but
Yeah.
it has to be done by the people who
Someone knows. Someone
Yes,
knows how.
there's
to do
a
it.
way
Oh,
to do
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like the old pumps didn't even use electricity; it was all
Right.
mechanical.
yeah.
But these definitely are. They have electric parts, and you can't get the gas out unless you scan your card. Now, you know.
How long you think you would last?
It depends how much food is in my cupboard right now.
Right.
I wouldn't last long.
So immediately kill the neighbors that you don't know. Clear out the neighborhood. You can loot all of their houses.
What am I killing
all
them
of
with,
their
though?
houses.
I have no weapons. I have 2 swords under my bed, and that is it. And
Dude,
and I have a pellet
dual
gun.
wielding. You're good. Dual wielding swords, man. Just hacking.
Can you imagine? The power goes out everywhere, and I go outside.
Holly, grab the swords.
I think you'd have to be a nomad. You couldn't stay in one place for too long. You have to go from town to town.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get a reputation for looting.
That'll be eventual.
Yeah.
Eventual, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like the looting is immediate.
Yeah. Oh, people loot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, now they loot when the power. In certain areas they loot.
But the question
Bad
is,
hurricanes
what are they
looting
going to
everywhere.
loot if nothing works? Because obviously people want the electronics.
Food.
Well, yeah,
clothes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna.
get a point.
You're looking for canned goods and rice and beans and things that will last.
Yeah.
Have some longevity. Don't require a refrigerator.
Old school Playboys.
We'll be back in
True.
style, man.
True. You got a
People
point.
Right?
will be looking for Playboys.
Yeah.
Sears catalog.
1996.
Victoria's
Karen
Secret.
McDougal.
It's your Playboy collection. Like,
I'll take TV Guide. I'll take anything.
Yeah.
What do you got?
better living.
Omen Gardens magazines.
Better living without power. That's
Cosmopolitan score.
Teen Beat. I
don't know about that.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
like the
it
Walmarts.
would go
like,
bad fast.
It would be like the Walmart. Everything would be converging on like Walmarts and stuff. It would be like a war zone.
Uh-huh.
Those would be like the danger zones. You don't want to go
Yeah.
near.
I think-
you'd want to go to the places that no one goes to, like Winn-Dixie.
right.
They still have those out there.
Well, they're actually
Not anymore. Aldi bought them.
Yeah, Aldi bought
Okay.
them out, and I just found out a few months back that Aldi is a German company.
Yeah,
It's
that's why
totally
they're so
German, which is why
efficient.
you know none of the brand names, and it's very strange. But
They're very efficient. They have like 3 people that work there, and it works.
Yeah.
It's an impressive business.
it's a cool setup the way they.
I don't
have
like
it.
putting a quarter in my
No, I just carry everything in my
buggy.
hands.
I carry everything too.
Yeah.
I'm like falling all over. If it drops, I'm just like, screw it.
Screw
I don't
the
need
quarter.
that grapefruit.
I don't care if I get the quarterback. It's the
Their
principle.
frozen pizzas are excellent.
Yes, they do have. They have good. They have a lot of stuff that's like Hollywood bring home, and I'm like, what is
Charcuterie's
this?
good. Their dips are good.
Yeah, and it's actually-
salmon so cheap, man.
It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know
okay.
how we got to Aldi from the apocalypse after an EMP, but
Well, we're gonna rate it.
yes,
Aldi.
Actually, yeah, you'd want to go to an Aldi because there wouldn't be like anyone defending it. Like, there's only
That's
like
true.
three
They just
workers,
have
you know?
the
There's no
3
employees.
people.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no one there. That would
Yeah.
probably be the first to go. Then the Walmarts.
I
and all
would
that.
like to give society the benefit of the doubt and say that it might take a few weeks for the craziness to set in.
Yeah.
But
Well, it all depends what news wouldn't even be able to travel.
exactly,
You know?
dude, we'd have to go back.
It would
We would
all
actually
be rumors.
we would have the advantage over all the young people because
Yeah.
we knew life
We know
without
that.
internet and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
is
we were
electronic.
Yeah, we go back
We'd
to
adapt
being
quicker.
Yes.
we go back to being that 80s and 90s kid, you know.
Yes.
Just going feral.
Dude,
Go
everything
feral
was
all
paper
over their
for
asses.
us. Everything was paper. We'd have to go. Everything would have to go back to paper. Credit cards you can't use those anymore. You have to go back to cash. You have to go back to some sort of physical currency that you have to
Barter.
exchange. Bartering.
It would be
Bartering.
bartering.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of fun actually.
Trade
Yeah.
you this Playboy for that cow.
That does not seem a fair trade.
In which direction?
Depends what year.
Yeah.
We're talking
Losing
90s
an
Playboy or
entire
80s.
cow, which could keep you alive for the rest of your life, for one magazine.
You can spank into that magazine for the rest of your life, dude.
I don't know, dude. I have a pretty good imagination. I'm not like your pal who can't visualize
No,
things.
I wasn't going to go there, but imagine that sucks.
That sucks for him too. Wow, he cannot.
Oh, yeah, that's
Wow.
true. That's true.
He can't recall images.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, whatever brings him pleasure, he can't bring those images
Yeah.
up. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they
it's a
could
little bit.
could they put text in their head of what's happening,
No.
and maybe that
Can't
will
picture it.
can't yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't
but that's
work,
the
right?
thing.
Picture it.
Part of the even if you read an erotic story, it's still the images that flash in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That,
None.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
activates
None.
that whole system. Like I feel like if you don't have that, it's got to be very
What if
difficult.
you don't have that and you don't have the inner voice?
Oh
You're
my
definitely
You're
an
like
NPC.
internally blind and deaf.
You're
or
an
mute.
NPC, is what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are.
totally.
Oh, maybe he's a self-aware NPC.
Ah,
He might have glitched out of it or something.
Right?
Yeah.
what? It's Free Guy. He's Free Guy.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good movie.
I enjoyed
Never
it.
seen
I
it.
did enjoy it.
I need to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
It's good. Much like Airwolf.
Dude, I so wish I had the theme song.
If you could live in a post-apocalyptic setting, what would it be?
I'm watching The Walking Dead right now, so that's really been on my mind.
Great show for the first 3 seasons, I think.
Oh, I've watched it before.
it's pretty good.
Not all of it. I stopped on a particular episode when Glenn dies. Couldn't
Yeah.
make it past that. That was so savage. I was so mad. I stopped watching it.
It was, I don't even think I made it that far, but I watched the scene after the fact because everybody was talking about it, and I'd already given up on The Walking Dead. I think around season 4-ish, whenever they got to the governor
Yeah.
and all in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other town and everything.
That's where I'm at right now, actually.
Yes. I started to lose interest,
Yeah.
and then I just kind of trailed off. And then when I heard about Glenn's death and the other chick's
Yeah.
death, and they were basically we're just strafing the cast, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, season 1 is amazing. Season 1 is some of the best television
Yeah.
ever. Like,
Their
I mean,
special
it's,
effects were amazing. I was
Yes.
blown away by their
Yeah.
practical effects.
it's absolutely
They're really good.
fantastic. That that's Frank Darabont that did that.
I didn't.
The guy who directed The Shawshank Redemption,
Oh wow,
The Green Mile, The
Yeah.
Mist.
Yeah.
Lot
we
of
talked
great-
about this recently.
A lot of great movies.
Yeah.
The Majestic, another great movie he did with Jim Carrey. But yeah, man, it's that first season is so brutal and so real, and
And
man,
it's slow. It's a good slow.
It's a slow burn. It's not that slow.
I know, but it's slow. It's not like forced upon you. It's
Oh
just
no,
kinda,
no, yeah, and it's shocking too. Like
Yeah.
it
Oh, God,
surprises
there's
you.
So many jump moments.
Yeah,
Anyway, sorry, I derailed that a little bit.
you did.
What? So that's my apocalyptic world right now.
Zombie
you wouldn't
apocalypse.
but you wouldn't want to be in it. You wouldn't want to live
no,
in
but
the world.
watching it, it's like I imagine how I would handle these
Yes.
situations. You know, like,
Sure.
Oh, I wouldn't. That would be dumb. Why'd you do
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
You know,
I think like a Terminator kind of thing would be pretty cool.
that's gonna happen. For
Like
sure.
kind of like. He said, we're gonna have those like little freaky robot dogs. Those things scare the crap out of me.
They're
man.
making
Have you
them,
seen
man.
those?
I see those things. I'm like, this ain't good.
There's a robot horse too now
Uh-huh.
that you can ride.
I see
Have
those
you
things.
seen
And I'm
that?
like, this ain't good, man. This is.
I want to
this
get
is
that
bad.
robot horse. Yeah.
I question the sanity of these people. I really do. Like how, and maybe part of it is that they watched movies like us when they were kids, and instead of just like saying, "Damn, that's scary shit," they were like, "I want to build that."
we
one
should
day."
do that.
It would be a good way to kill people. Just
Skynet
little
would
robots
be
going
awesome.
around, you know.
Yeah, it's still pretty freaking cool.
It is kind of
It is.
cool, actually.
Although
See-
let's be honest, there were only 2 good Terminator movies.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I mean,
to me, really only one, but the first one was good too. But the second one was
no.
amazing.
When I talk about the best Terminator movie, I often go to the first one because I feel like the second one was just a rehash of the first movie. Only they made the bad Terminator a good Terminator, and they made the good Terminator. They made the good human a Terminator.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's the
Yeah.
exact same plot.
It's the same.
Really, I mean, Terminator
ends
3 has
similar.
its moments, but it suffers from the fact that it has one of the weakest Terminators. And
I don't even
Christina
remember.
Loken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what's
I
weird?
don't
I was watching
even
The
remember.
Abyss recently.
Oh,
And
that was good.
You know the dude who's like kind of losing his mind in the
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
That's the guy who plays Kyle in Terminator 1.
yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Reese. I didn't know that. I was like,
He
whoa.
is in almost all of
is
James
weird.
Cameron's movies. Actually, I think.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Aliens. He plays Michael Biehn is his name, the actor, and he was in Aliens. He plays I think a turncoat in there too. I think he's one of the military guys who kind of turns against Ripley, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen Aliens in a while. I need to rewatch that. It's a really good one. But
Alien invasion would be cool. That would be a cool apocalypse.
Alien invasion.
So that's what you want to live in, an alien invasion apocalypse.
So yours are very
pretty
sci-fi-ish.
Cool. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, I do like the EMP post-apocalyptic. You ever seen Jericho?
Yes,
one of the best shows.
Great show.
What I like about an alien invasion is that there's kind of a little bit of hope there, like humanity will like come to unite and we'll fight the aliens.
Independence Day,
right? Or maybe it won't be a bad thing.
Or maybe the Men in
maybe
Black
they'll just
will
take
show
over,
up, and it'll be that version of maybe we are already living in it, and the aliens are just disguised as humans, like B said. Maybe the NPCs are actually aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
Be pretty cool.
I don't know. I think I would want to go Mad Max Apocalypse because it's just kind of the wackiest one. The characters. I mean, I wouldn't survive for very long, but
it's kind of unhinged. It's like the most unhinged.
Maybe I could be a blood boy or something. I don't know. I feel like I could find something to do out in the desert. It would.
All that sand chafing just gets everywhere.
Yeah, they got Tina Turner though, man.
Oh my God,
Tina Turner action out there.
But see, I prefer the Mel Gibson Mad Max movies to the because here's the thing. In that first Mad Max movie, I don't know if you remember it. That one came out in the 80s.
Yep.
And society is still kind of in existence in that one. Like they still have a police station. They still have some semblance of society. It's on the fringes outside of the town where all the crazies are.
Yeah.
And in the sequels, basically that's taken over. Like they still have gas and they still have some resources, I guess. So maybe that one, I don't know.
But society really fell off between the first movie and the second one.
It absolutely did.
Wait, how was that possible?
I have no freaking clue.
How much time elapsed between the two?
Yeah. Well, they did make a point of making his hair gray in the sequel.
I didn't even notice. Yeah. Okay.
Like he's got like his like a bit of gray on the sides of his head, so to show that time has passed.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, those movies are weird because they don't have a very solid through line, like narratively to follow. Right. Like when is this happening and when is this happening? I don't know.
So I would be just kind of like the guy who rolls with whatever gang's winning. I'd be like a raider. I see like the dudes in like the bondage gear, kind of like winning. And I'm just go over. And kind of like blend in with them.
They're just going into a fight with a ball gag.
Just like, okay, I'm gonna roll with these guys for a little bit. I kind of wear some freaky looking clothes, but they start getting their asses kicked. I'll just like go with the other gang.
What about a natural disaster post-apocalyptic world? Several choices there.
Like a meteor strike, and it's like a
get another ice age going.
Like
that.
Deep Impact with the asteroid hit, and then everything it sort of starts freezing, and
everything freezes, or maybe everything gets really hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the environmental disasters don't appeal to me because I feel like I don't like super hot and I don't like super cold temperatures.
Glenna Gertrude's running around saying, "I told you so." Is that her name? I don't know people's names.
Gertrude? Who?
Who's that young girl that was like 13 and doing all these environmental impact things? And Donald Trump called her retarded or something.
I don't remember.
I don't remember her name.
It's a thing,
in the strange times in which we live. I mean, it's important to to not shit all over the environment. I absolutely believe that. But on the other hand, it's like, humans have been here for a long time and everything still seems,
I don't know, man. Sometimes the days go by, I'm kind of like, let's just see what happens, Let's just go with it. Let's just let the world die, Let's
like, this is entertaining.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to The Introverse. New episodes every Monday, wherever the podcasts roam. Catch us on our YouTube channel at Introverse Pod. The Introverse is a part of the Introverse Podcast Network.